So we're recording. So that way you can, take notes and go back and listen to it. And what I'll do is it'll save on my computer. I'll download it to YouTube and then I'll just send you the link.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So when you think about your program, a couple of ways I want you to think about it. So the things that we're going to talk about is going to be what you're going to take them through and how you're going to facilitate them doing the transformation. And what I mean by that is taking the steps that are going to really create change in their lives and then sustaining that on the back end. And the beautiful thing about that is you're going to get language for how you talk about it,
Right.
how you write your posts about it, your marketing content. So, if you've got a one pager, you've got a landing page, or those types of things, the things that we're going to talk about are going to give you language for those things as well. Okay. And so in the CALM framework, and I'll just remind you what it is, and then I'll talk you through one concept, and then we're going to just dig into the questions. So the 5 stages, you've got clarity and alignment. If people are resisting engaging in your program, and that means buying it, that means doing the work. If they have any resistance, they are stuck somewhere between clarity and alignment. Okay. Once they are through clarity and alignment, you can go to the 2 learnings. So it's the L squared. The first one is skills. So teaching them what they need to know to execute the transformation. That's learning element number 1. Learning element number 2 is learning mastery. So being proficient. They not only learned it, they practiced it, they've done it, they can do it, right? And then the mindset is that making it stick, making it this is just what I do now, right? I don't even think about going back. This is my life now. So let's talk first about clarity and alignment, and then once we get to those questions, I'll chat with you a little bit about why, if people are resistant, they're either stuck at clarity or they're stuck at alignment.
Okay.
So when you think about your program, and I'm just going to ask you these questions and then just answer with what naturally comes up for you. If you need to pause and think about it, that's fine. If
I don't want to overthink it. That's what I don't want to do.
Yep. Then just like let it roll. A lot of times that's where the gold nuggets are anyway,
Yeah. I'm not even going to take notes or anything. I'm going to really try to listen to what you're saying and just answer.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of recording it, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to. So when you think about your program, and Sally Sue is someone who you would like to take through your program, what exactly will change for Sally when she goes through the program?
That she'd be able to move from a circumstance that she may be stuck in to back to life.
So what does that mean, back to life? I'm going to dig, by the way, so don't take it personal. I'm just going to try to dig because I'm Sally. I don't know what back to life means. So I'm move from where I'm stuck to what?
So that you can move forward with strength, courage, and confidence.
Okay. And exactly what would that look like for me? What would I be doing differently than I'm doing today?
You can either move from, I see I'm going to get stuck. I'm going to get
okay. It's okay. Just say it.
You can move, ask the question again.
So, moving forward with courage, strength, I forget the other adjective. And confidence. So, but what does that look like in my day to day? What would change for me in just what I do every day?
You would learn how to pause throughout your days to stay connected.
What else? That's good. What else?
You would learn how to move from core strength that you never knew you had.
Okay, I understand that. That's great. What else would be different for me?
You would move with a sense of freedom.
And what
Or
is
live
that?
with a sense of freedom.
That's a feeling. So I would feel a sense of freedom that I don't feel today, right?
Right.
So that's good. So that's what would be different in the way I felt.
Mm-hmm.
What else would be, and if you don't, and listen, when we get to the point, you're like, that's it, I'm kind of done, just let me know. But like, so what else would be, what would be different for me? What else would change for me?
I'm just gonna say, if you would feel stronger, move better. Those are the words that are coming to me.
Okay, so if you encapsulate all of that you just said, I'm going to ask you the question again, and then I want you to tell me those things. So Stacy, if I engage in your program, what's going to be different for me when I finish your program?
It just comes back to move with strength, power, and confidence.
And that means what?
I have no idea. It's so freaking frustrating.
No, but you just said
You
it.
have no idea how frustrating this is, that I can't, I'm like stuck in this. I don't have no idea.
But you already said it. And I wish I would have written it down because it was beautiful, right? So I would, what that would mean for you, Carla, is that you would learn how to pause in your day and really connect to the things that, you're focused on achieving. You would feel, what was the word that you used? You would feel a sense of freedom that you're not feeling today. And there was something else about movement in there. When you go back, you can listen to it. But like, those are real sentences that I can get a visual of.
Yeah.
Do you see what
I probably already have them all written down.
Yeah, you probably.
I just, for whatever reason, when someone asks me, it frazzles me every time.
So you have that first sentence, which is great. So you can open with that and then say, and here's what that would mean in your everyday. Here's the things that would be different. You would feel a sense of freedom, and you wouldn't feel weighed down by all the things that you want to do because you'd be doing them.
Because you're learning how to pause.
Yeah, you're learning how to pause in your day so that you have, I don't know, I'm making it up, but, moments of reflection, and it's going to, reduce the stress that you're feeling. You're going to learn how to intentionally, move that does X, Y, Z. So you see what I'm saying? That sentence is great. And it's a nice, attention getting. And then I have to know, how's it going to impact me in my everyday? Okay. So why would that be important for me to, like, why would I want to go through the program?
Because you're going to learn how to use your time and energy wisely through intentional movement.
So the reason that I would want to engage in the program would be that it's going to save me time, because right now I'm spending a lot of time doing things that aren't getting me to the place I want to be. Mm-hmm. Right? So, okay, now I'm interested, right? Because now I'm like, ooh, that's fascinating, right? Nobody likes to feel like they're stuck wasting time. Why else would I want to make the changes that would come with your program?
Oh gosh, it's going to be loud for a minute. It's going to be really loud for a little bit because my husband's getting home.
Okay. So we talked about what's changing. Why would we make the change? To save time, right? Save hours of like spinning in place. Right?
Chris. Sorry.
That's okay.
I should be outside. Now, so I'm sorry, say it again.
Yeah. So why would I want to change? Well, it would save me hours of spinning in place, which I could eliminate from my day, which is fabulous. Why else would I want to engage in the program?
Just to become more physically fit. So we're not gonna be able to do this.
That's okay. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. Hey, Stephanie.
Hi.
So we're doing
oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Congratulations on your interview. Woohoo!
Thank you. I'm so happy it's done.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, it's done for now. Now comes phase 2, right?
Oh, we hope so. I was thinking today, like, why are you so nervous about this? And I realized I haven't interviewed since 2019, right? So
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
apply for anything in 2020 because I was like, just stay put. You're trying to survive. Um, yeah. So she did describe next steps, and she said, this is how we, are going to do the process. So we would contact you next week if we wanted an interview for the beginning of November. We'd have you come into the university, and then if you were to start the position, it'd be the end of December, beginning of January. But she didn't say, whether they were going to call, but I thought it was a good sign that she described
Oh,
it.
yeah. They don't tell you that stuff if they're not going to call. There's
So
just
I
like
hope.
no reason to do it. That is cool.
Yeah, look at that. And we are recording too, Stephanie, just so you know. It's being
Okay.
recorded.
I was just going to
Okay.
say, this is
Hi, girl.
hey you. So the reason we're recording, you know how when we did the master class, you and I walked through your business in the Calm framework. We're doing that for Stacy now.
Mm,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's very stressful.
yes.
You're going to see a different side of me.
Yeah. But
I'm loving this. I'm loving it.
And the nice thing is Stephanie can help, right? Because she can hear maybe where you struggle a little bit, and together, we can come up with the words that you're looking for. So we just started, and Stacy's gone through we're in the clarity section. So if I were, I'm Sally Sue, and if I were to engage in her program, what would change? Right. And so she talked about, saving time, because you're not going to be stuck in spinning your wheels. You're going to feel more freedom. You're going to know how to move intentionally in a way that is going to make you more physically fit. You're going to be connected to those, things that you want to accomplish in your life, instead of having them just kind of sit up on the shelf. So now we're going through why would I want to engage in the program that she's sharing? And so that's really where the time thing came up. So why else, like, think about your whole program. Why else would I want to engage? Like, why would right now be a good time for me to engage? There's one piece that I think is coming up for me, and you can tell me, Stacy, if this fits for you, but the spiritual element of it, because I know your program is based in being, in a Christian format. So is there something you can say about that?
Spiritually fit and physically strong is really fit, meaning faith, intention, truth.
Right.
But is that too much of an explanation when you're just sharing it at the beginning?
Well, but you're thinking of your key messaging too, because remember, people are going to resist, and this is not a one and done. These are the things that you're going to talk about with potential clients. These are the things that you're going to talk about in your Tune In Tuesday. These are the things that you're going to talk about on videos. If you're on podcasts, these are the things you have to talk about, and people have to hear a message 5 to 7 times in order for it to really connect and for them to absorb it. So this is not, I'm going to go put it in a Facebook post. This is really getting crystal clear on what's going to change if I go through your program. Why is now the right time for me to do this? And what's going to stay the same, right? So you can have a whole laundry list of things and then pick and choose depending on your conversation, your audience, your posting strategy, what you use from that. So I do think the spirituality is one of them, right? Because it's like, one of the things is you're going to increase your level of connection spiritually. That's
right.
Part of your program.
Well, and that's one of the things I wanted to ask, is that I was talking to one of my clients, and she said, she came up with like a diagram, and she goes, Stacey, the people that I picture are the ones that are active, like they have an active lifestyle on one end, and then the other end is their spiritual. And so where those circles come together is really where your people are. And so she said, like, when I look at the clients that I have now, I'm either having somebody that's active, that's looking to be more spiritual. They would like to have that connection, a deeper faith, grow in their faith. Or I have the opposite. Like I have two people that are strong spiritually, but they want to be a little more active. They want to be physically stronger. So I thought that was really interesting in trying to figure out who my people are.
Well, so one of the things that I heard you say is what's going to change your level of spiritual, your physical fitness and your level of spiritual growth is going to increase.
Yeah.
Both of those things. So it doesn't really matter if they're here or they're here. Your program is going to increase both. So that's one of the things, one of your key messages around what's going to change. Well, you're going to, increase your level of fitness and your spiritual health.
Okay. That makes
Both
sense.
of those things. Yeah.
Trying to come back to like I mean, I know that I have it all, but it's like when you get on now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, okay, I get so like, oh,
I know.
I can't say it, because then in my mind, I think I go automatically to, I can't even say it to you guys.
Yeah, but you can. That's the thing.
And I can, I know that, but I'm just like,
you have
oh.
so much going on up here that it's hard. So here's what's going to be cool. There's a journaling prompt that goes with this lesson. Just journal about it, put your bullets, put your key messages, or do it on a Word document. And then you have your key messages and your talking points. And if you're on a podcast, you can pull it up. And remember, in the CALM framework, people have to get through each phase before they can go to the next one. So one of the things that we do is, if you think about your ideal clients, where are they in that framework? If on a scale of 1 to 5, they have to be a 4 or a 5 in the element before you can move on to the next phase. So people have to really understand the answers to the clarity questions before you can move on to alignment. You cannot start telling them what are the benefits for them, what's in it for me, if they don't even know what's going to change and why they should do it. You can't tell them the benefits, right? They're not going to be able to hear that. So you're on a good track for clarity. So we'll move to the alignment. So let's say that, your person is a 4 or 5 in clarity. They know what you want them to change. They know why it's important to make the change. And they understand like what's going to stay the same, right? They're really, really clear on the clarity questions. Now, in alignment, that is the kind of that what's in it for me. So what are the benefits to me personally? And that can change depending on the individual. So like if you look at me, one of the benefits for me was I wanted to increase my core strength so that when I get 80 like my mother, I'm not going to be worried about falling, right? So one of the benefits could be that when you increase your core strength, you feel better, I remember you saying, like your pants will be a little bit looser. Okay, that's cool. That's a benefit. That connects with a lot of people. My pants are going to be looser. I'm in. And as you age, you're not going to have the problems that you've seen your parents have. Like that could be one of your what's in it for me messages.
Yeah. And actually one of my clients asked me that question the other day. She said, am I going to be like my mom?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, you are. If you don't keep doing what you're supposed to be doing like this. And she was like, So,
yeah. Okay. So here's what's cool about that. The way you get through alignment is you make a decision to engage. That's it. And that's why I said in the beginning, it's if people are resisting it somewhere between clarity and alignment, they either haven't made a decision to engage because they don't understand what's going to be different and why they need to do it, or there hasn't been a compelling enough benefit laid out for them that they're going to make a decision to engage. So here's what I saw. And people can move back and forth in the calm journey. They might be all in the beginning, and then they get like 6 months down the line. They're like, well, my pants aren't that much loose, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Here's the thing though. So your client went through that. And when you asked her that question, she went, okay, she made a decision to engage right then and there. She's through alignment. She
was already working with me. She just asked me that the other day.
Yeah, but it reaffirmed her, right? Like, if she had that lingering thought, like, you know what, maybe I won't continue this. I kind of know what I need to do. Maybe I'll do it on my own. I don't know. I'm making it up. but that was enough for her to go, shit, I'm in. I'm not,
Right, okay.
you know, so it's really delivering that message. So think about, I would write down all of the reasons that your clients choose to engage. You know, it could be that they want their pants to be a little bit looser. It could be that they really want that core strength. They want their stamina up. You know, they want that spiritual connection that's been missing in their lives. They don't want to be that person that has to use a walker because they didn't work on core strength when they had the opportunity to do it, right? I don't want to be like my mom and be a fall risk and have that be what my later years are like. So
Right.
all of those benefits of what's in it for me, I can now listen to that. I can absorb it because I know all of the things that came before, what we're going to do, what's going to be different, why it's important for me to you know, to move on and make a decision. And once people make a decision to engage, you're then ready to teach them the skills. Because until they understand what we're going to do and why we're going to do it, and they understand the benefits and it's something they can connect to, they can't learn it. They're just going to hear Charlie Brown teacher voice when you're trying to teach them things. They're not going to work at it as hard. They're not going to push their body as hard because they're not really, really engaged. And then they're not going to experience that transformation, right? So why else, what other benefits would come from that could be enough to make someone make a decision to engage in the program? We talked about a couple of them. I know there's more.
Better posture.
Love it. My posture is definitely better. I shared that with you. Totally better. What else?
A deeper spiritual connection.
Yep. Yep.
And I don't know if you say it that way or a growth.
Either way.
Growing their faith. I don't know which way is better. I guess it's just a matter of conversation.
Yeah, it depends on the conversation. What else? I'll tell you one for me, and this might be fun for you, is to ask your clients what benefits they've received and let them tell you. So
well, that's what I was just thinking. I was going to send out a message, just be like, what are.
Yeah. So for me, totally the posture, much better. You know, the other thing, and I noticed this when I meant to tell you this, but when I was riding my bike the other day, I noticed that I was out with Jeff and I like moved my shoulders back and kind of put them down in my hip pockets while I was riding my bike, and I wasn't as fatigued. And it kind of goes back to that posture thing. So you're not as fatigued at the end of the day because you're connected and you're able to do physical things for longer periods of time without fatigue.
Right.
You know what? So like that's a benefit.
So more energy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I'd say more energy as much as it's interesting. I'm not as fatigued. That's the best way I can say it. Like typically I would be on my bike, and when I noticed that like I really wasn't holding myself steady, like, you know I'm supposed to, I would just get tired. My body would get fatigued. I would just, the riding would have been harder, but it's easier when you are focused on positioning your body correctly, right?
Which is posture. Yeah.
Yeah, which is posture. And it's a little bit different because it's, not just posture when I'm walking around, which yeah, absolutely. And it's like during physical activity, I actually know how to hold my body so that I'm not as fatigued anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I think it would be interesting to talk to your clients about that, because we've listed about 7 or 8 things, right? So depending on the conversation or the direction you want to take a post or the conversation on a podcast, you can talk through those things. And if you have a long list of them handy, how nice is that, right?
Right.
Choose. So once they get through clarity, they're no longer resisting, and you are now able to teach them new skills, right? So what are the new skills that you teach in your program?
Internal connection with the foam roll.
Perfect.
But see, this is where I struggle, Carl, is because I keep on going towards the workout part. I mean, it's working in, but I've got to get out of that into the vital signs of life. I've got to get into the teaching of my book, the program, because I may not even have any of the movement pieces through the whole thing. That's where I get stuck.
Yeah.
Like it's easy for me to talk about T training and the foam roll. But that's not what I'm launching.
Well, then
My-
what
The
are
book
you
program
launching?
is,
What are you?
well, I'm launching my online program that goes through heart. It goes healing and then the 4 vital signs of life.
But are you going to have physical movement be part of that?
I don't know yet.
Okay, so that's the thing that I think you have to figure out. And then
I probably will have it. I just
Yeah.
don't know, like if I do the heart, that's where I struggle. I have these pieces and they're big pieces. And that is the big question. Where does that fit and where does it come in?
yeah, I think your next step then is for you to really get clarity around if someone goes through the program, answering the questions, and then what skills are you going to teach them? And then how are you going to set it up so that they have mastery, so that they're proficient? Like, are you going to have a coaching call once a month? Are
Right.
you going to have a Facebook group where they can ask questions?
Okay.
Are you going to give them a guide that says, print this out and this will be a reminder of doing these things, right? And then the mindset of how they sustain that. How can they measure their progress? How are they going to notice when they're slipping back? What daily practices are they going to put in place so that this does become just part of how they live their lives and it's not something extra or new or different? What is it that you're going to do in your program that's going to make that transformation stick?
Okay.
Right? And so when they go through the program and they go through all of those steps, they will have made that transformation and it will be something that becomes part of their life and really truly gives them that transformation that I know you want them to have.
Right.
Questions about that? Thoughts?
Yeah, I think for me, it's, in the clients that I have right now, I have both. I have people, I've never taken somebody through the entire program. I didn't even have it, it's in the development process of putting it
Right.
online. So I've had people that have gone through just like for you, just the corsage part. I haven't introduced T-training to you yet.
Right.
So you've had one little aspect of it. Where the couple other clients that I have, they did my workshop, my Hearts in Transition workshop. And from there, they went straight into the corsage and the T-training because they come to my home. So they've had that exposure to it. And it's been interesting to see the language. And then I've had others that have done a mixture of a little bit of everything. They've had T-training, they do the corsage, and they've taken some of my workshops, but I've never taken somebody from the Hearts in Transition workshop through the corsage classes all the way through the entire book program. So it's hard for me to say,
Yep.
what are you going to get from that?
Well, here's a thought, and then Stephanie, I'd love to shoot it over to you and see kind of what you're thinking. I've got 2 thoughts. One is you getting really clear on exactly what you're going to deliver is going to make this so much easier, right? Once you know, okay, I'm going to teach these things, it's going to be so much easier for you to go through this framework. The other thing is you might do this, and this is what I'm doing with the Getting Paid from the Stage program. I'm launching an imperfect product in January. Like, I'm doing the pilot. It's free. You could like reduce the price greatly, do your own pilot, and then ask those questions. What changed for you? Why was it important for you to make the change? What stayed the same for you? What were the benefits to you? Right? What skills were most important that you learned? How did you feel about the space that I created so that you would have mastery? What else would you need? And then what things are you going to put in place that are going to keep you continuing down this path? And what of the things that I shared with you were most helpful in that? It can be like whatever you're going to charge for it to begin with. I don't know, I'll make it up. So like mine is going to be $12.50. So if I was doing a paid cohort, I would probably say, I'm going to take 6 students through this I'll charge $150. I need feedback from you guys on these things. It's not polished. It's not completely done because I'm kind of going to be, you know, creating it as we go. You could do something like that and then let them answer the questions.
Okay.
Just a thought. So what are you thinking, Stephanie?
I'm thinking just because you've mentioned that you pretty much already put the book together that you're working on, what is you think about for clarity purposes, like what is the intention? Like you made that book or the program to do with people. What was your intention? And I think that will help to bring clarity too. Like, was your intention for people to have a spiritual transformation? Was your program built to cleanse the heart, to get people to be more clear? Like, what was the intention behind it? And then I think it's easier to talk to people about it. And I'm happy another time, like to practice with you and just say like, okay, Tracy, excuse me, Stacy, I want a spiritual transformation. Like, what is your program? Can you tell me more about that? And talk to it that way. So another time, if you ever just want to, because sometimes it helps to talk it out because
Yeah.
you have it in your mind, but the more you're using words, you're like, oh, okay, that's what I meant. But I think I'm with Carla. It has to be clear what I'm buying in terms of not necessarily benefit, but what is the intention of me hiring you to go through this program?
I have to sit with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just have to sit with that.
And you will.
you will. You'll do it. And then listen, like Stephanie said, we can get on a call. And if you want to do it one-on-one, we can do it. If you want to do a call like this, where you and Stephanie do some role play and I observe and I ask questions, or maybe we do 20 minutes, you and Stephanie, 20 minutes, you and me. We'll get there. And then just grab the guide for this session when you're ready and just start, you know, create a little Word document and start popping that stuff in there. It really, really helps because then when you go to post, you're like, oh, I want to post about this idea today. You know what I mean? You can kind of feed those things in so that people that are following you you're taking them on that journey. They're learning what's changing, why I might want to, oh, you know what? I've seen about this program a couple of times. That's sounding more and more interesting. I think I'll reach out to her and just kind of understand a little more about it, right? You're socializing it with them.
Right.
And yeah, and I think you had asked in the beginning of the call, Stacy, whether you should mention you mentioned an acronym or something, and you're like, oh, should I tell them it's a spiritual transformation too? Yeah, because I knew you were a spiritual woman and I knew you were a woman of faith and I knew you did foam rolling and I knew somehow they connected, but I wasn't quite sure. And so even with posting and stuff, you post like spiritual stuff, which is great, but I was like, well, how is that connected? Like there wasn't clarity on how it's connecting. So don't be afraid to say, this is how I do, this is where the two intersect. Don't be afraid to say that on social media or wherever, because it's important.
Yeah. And I think I mean, I know that I've been I don't want to say keeping them separate, but I haven't put them necessarily together. And I think it's because I still don't know. I've been in such deep prayer about where do I put this in?
Yeah.
Because right now, all the clients that I have, no one's doing it all.
What is all?
No one's doing, everyone's doing a piece or maybe two pieces, but I haven't put it together to where it's like, what is the flow of this and where do they come in? And so that's really my question. And I've asked it in so many different ways daily. That's where my frustration is. I know that that's where my clarity is stuck. And I'll start leaning towards one way. And then I'm like, I don't know if that's the right way. As I've never tried it that way, which is fine. I don't have I mean, shit, I've tried them all different ways now. So I'm not afraid to put it out there. I just don't want to continually put it out there and find out that it's just wrong all the time.
I think for me, when you talk about spirituality and like working out, all I can think of is the word grounded, because I feel like this is just like a thought. When I exercise or I work out or I do that, I feel very grounded. And sometimes it does become spiritual because all of a sudden I feel connected to a higher power. So just think about maybe that common denominator. I was just trying to think about common denominators between the two. But I think you'll get there in time,
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's really, I need to let it just go and not fight it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, putting it together in an online program, but to be quite frankly, I don't want to put it out there in an online program if I'm not ready to teach it.
Right.
Right. And I can teach it. I can teach it all without the movement. But then am I doing what I'm supposed to be? That's my biggest piece.
But
So
why
it's
are you so,
weird.
why are you, tell me why you want to hold on so tightly to the part of working out? What is holding you? Tell me why it's important for you to integrate the part of working out.
Because movement is key. The tools that I have in there match the pieces of the program to teach them something, to give them something tangible to experience what it is that we're going to be working through.
So do you necessarily have to promote it as a program that integrates that? Like, can't that just be part of the program?
Yes, it can be. And that might be the place where I just have to launch it as an online program. And those are the tools that are going to come out through the program.
You could have almost a chapter in the beginning of the program explaining why you've integrated movement, but you're marketing it as a spiritual awakening or something. I just feel like you're caught between two worlds, and I'm wondering why you're holding on to both so tightly.
I mean, I think you're right on the money with that. The question you just asked is what if I just let go of the movement altogether and run through the whole program? I mean, I can do that. I mean, the way that the program is set up right now, just through the first two sections of the book, I do introduce the foam roll, not in a sense of them doing it, but as a tool that's used, which if they were interested in more, they could join classes if they wanted to.
And the opposite, right? So if you're working out with people and they want a spiritual growth, you could also have a program to offer. And this is just ideas. This is not me trying to force you into one or the other.
No, and I appreciate that, because the questions are, I'm just waiting for God to put the pieces together. That's really, I'm just like, one of these days, they've got to put the pieces together because it's driving me crazy. Yeah. It makes me want to stop doing it all.
Have you gone through your program?
Well, that's an interesting question that you just asked me, because yes, because it didn't exist until I asked the question. And once I asked the question after my mom died, this is what God gave me, all of this.
What was the question, Stacy? You said once.
What is truth when your internal and external worlds collide? And this is what he gave me. So heart, image, truth, T training, corsage. He gave all of this to me. And what seemed very small in, publishing something, and just my original thought was, I didn't set out to write a book. I didn't set out to write a program. I just set out to answer this question. And in this answering of question came this hit excellence with the diagrams and all the book things and, where it can take you and stuff. And I was going to put it all in one little package and then move on from that. But I kept being told when I was going to life coaching school, it's too deep. You can't go that deep. You can't put it all out there that way.
Who told you that? God or the school?
One of my instructors. And
Stacey.
so, well, and
who are they?
I know. I understood what he said. So I ended up writing heart, because heart didn't even exist. It started with image, went to truth, added T training, added the foam roll, and then came around back into heart. And so I launched, and then it just fit. Heart needed to go out first. It's an introduction to heart.
I feel like I'm just going to throw something out there, and I'll be curious to see how this resonates. I feel like it's still not really complicated. Do you know what I mean? Like, as I hear you talk about it, what I hear is a woman who is a lifelong athlete who went through a traumatic experience and really had to struggle to figure out how the outside and the inside, her inside world and the world that was all around her, how to make sense of all of that and move forward with a life of meaning. And what happened was you found a connection through intentional movement and spirituality that has made your life so rich that you want to share it with other people. And so that's your story. That's your program. I'm going to show you how to do what took me 10 years to do for myself. And we're going to fast track it in this 8-week program. And part of that is going to be some intentional movement. It's not strenuous, because what I wouldn't want is someone who needed your program to be like, man, I don't really want to do an exercise program, right?
Right.
So it is several different components. We're going to really dig deep on some internal work that is both spiritual and physical, intentional movement. None of this is hard movement. This is not a workout class. This is about how we are a whole one person. And so that has to include our spirituality and the way that we move our bodies. And together, we're going to go through the different skills that are going to give you what you need to move forward with courage, grace, and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Right? To me, that's what it's all about. And then the weeks are just simply showing me how to do that. I say simply, I know it's complex. However, it also is somewhat simple, and it has to be, because Sally Sue, who's going to go through your program, I don't agree that you can't go that deep, because you have to. You're the expert, you know this stuff, and that's what your book's about. In your program, you're going to make it simple for me to take these complex topics and implement them in my life so that I can experience a true transformation.
Mind-body connection, right? The whole time Carla was speaking,
Yes.
I wrote down mind and body connection.
Yes. Does that feel right to you, Stacy?
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think it's, when Stephanie asks me, have you gone through your program? I think that was so interesting to me, because when somebody started asking me questions, I was like, well, when you're developing it and writing it, you're just going, does that make sense? Like, I haven't gone through the program as an outsider doing the program. I've been in the core of it, developing it as I've gone through it. So have I experienced it? Yeah. But not in the way that you're an outsider coming in to experience this program. Like, you guys would be outsiders coming in and experiencing this program. I was
try it. I know you were the program, but I was like, try it.
Yeah. And that's really, when you say the external and internal, this struggle, why are you holding on to pieces so tight? Because those were the pieces that got me through this.
Yeah.
So if I let go of this big piece, movement is everything for me.
That you don't let go of it. You have to.
But not in the workout sense. And I think that's where I'm still struggling with, what does that look like if it isn't? Because if I put you guys through the program for if I said, okay, Carla, Stephanie, I'm going to run you through corsage, I'm going to put T training in you, and you don't know anything else, it'll rock your world. I can change your body in a very short period of time with the more intentional. But if they don't work in, I am doing them a disservice if they don't understand why they're doing it.
So maybe the physical movement part, because, and you've always said intentional movement coach. And I'm just going to throw this out there. Maybe the intentional movement part is pretty freaking hard. And that's okay too, right? That's what I'm saying. Don't feel like you can't make this what it needs to be. It can be. We are going to work hard on intentional movement and spiritual growth. So this is not a light program. This is a heavy program. It's deep. We're going to have some fun. We're going to learn some new skills, and it's going to be hard work. So if you want to sign up and if you're with us, get ready to do some hard work physically and spiritually. And you just call it.
See, and I think when you said that, it shifted something inside of me, because that's the program that I need to do. It's teaching and moving.
Yeah.
Teaching and moving.
And it's going to be work. We're going to work hard.
Mhm.
This is not a light program.
It's not. And
we're going to have fun, and you're going to have coaching. You don't want it to feel totally heavy. Just get ready to work hard.
right.
Because then people are going to be serious, right? If you're advertising it as a deep program, the people that sign up are ready for it. If you never say deep, if you never say this is going to be hard work, people are like, yeah, I'll sign up for it. And they're not like, it's a different level, right? It's a different level of programming. And so I think just being honest up front and being like, are you ready? Are you ready for something this deep? Are you ready for something this, working in? I think that's a great message. Just
That's
say
one
it.
that is one of the things that I have shared is hard work is hard work.
You
Yeah.
It's not a program it's not a surface level program.
And don't
And
shy away
every
from
single
saying
one of the
that.
clients is what?
Don't shy away from saying that. That's okay. Don't be afraid of turning people off. Remember, if you're not turning anybody off, you're not turning anybody on. Don't be afraid of saying this is going to be hard work. We're going to have fun. We're going to be supported. You're going to learn new skills. This is what you're going to get out of it. And it's going to be work.
Okay. Well, I'll go. Would your suggestion, Carla, be to, because when I leave this, I'll listen to it again, like tomorrow, probably. I don't want to overthink it.
Yep.
I want to take your calm transformational steps and start to plug in some of these key words for that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get stuck in trying to make sure the words are right.
Yeah.
Or,
Don't worry
does that
about
make sense?
Yeah. You know what? Do it, plug it in the framework, and just know that it's a draft. It's not final. This is not my marketing
Right.
material. This is not my final message. This is the stuff, like you could even have a Word document up as you're listening to the audio and just type the phrases, the words, whatever comes up for you that resonates. Then after that, just kind of dump it on a piece of paper. I would get really clear on exactly what I'm going to deliver in that course, and then go back through it again. Because this
So the
is
clarity piece is the one that I need to stay on.
well, you can go through and plug in everything that you know. When you're taking someone through the transition, you have to stay there and deliver those messages before you can go on to the next one. But I would put everything that I knew about every one of the phases now, because then you're going to very clearly see where the gaps are. And then put that aside, go get your program, be very clear on exactly what you're going to do in that program. Who are you going to serve? Is it spiritual women who are ready to, amp it up and get, and do the intentional movement piece too? What is it you're going to deliver? Exactly what's going to happen in that program. Week 1, I'm going to do these 5 bullets. Week 2, I'm going to do these 5 bullets. Week 3, we're going to do this. So that now you can go back through that calm transformation. You can answer those questions with a little bit more robustness.
Okay. Cool.
This
You
was
got to
good.
roll out of here.
Yeah, I got it. My daughter called when we were chatting. I got to give her a call real quick. She probably wants me to bring something, but.
No, I appreciate it. And I I know that's what I need.
Yeah.
So that's why when I saw you and Stephanie, because I watched it, Stephanie, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that would have been, it was awesome to be an observer of listening to your guys' interaction.
It's always great to do that. So when she had said, we're going to go do, Stacy walk her through, I was like, oh, good. Because you learn sometimes more as the observer. Like, and especially for me, because it's the second round, right? So I'm like, okay, good. Like, that's why I was excited. I was like, let me listen to see how you work through the process. And Stacey, I think it's going to be great. I think once you get the clarity around and stuff, it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, I know I know I'm where I'm at right now because I'm different than I was back then, but it's frustrating. Like my kids even say, Mom, seriously? You're an intentional movement coach. That's what you do. How come you can't say what you do? And so I'm like, yep, you're right. I don't understand it.
It's more than that. That's why. That's
Yeah.
why.
Right.
It's
And
more
so
than intentional movement. Yeah.
That is the most frustrating thing to me. And it's kind of embarrassing, to be honest.
Yeah, don't be embarrassed. We all
Oh.
struggle with it. That's why marketing is so hard, Stacy. That's why marketers get paid big bucks, because they get on a call like this and they tease stuff out and then they take it and they go, because we can't do it. It's
Like when you started asking those questions at the beginning and I couldn't, it was blank. And it seized every part of my inside again. And I can name the exact times in my life when I have felt that same way with this work.
Yeah.
Never had that with swim lessons. Never had that with massage, ever.
Because this is different.
Yeah. That was
Never had that with my training because I launched it. I launched T-Training and as a whole program, and it was extremely successful very quickly.
I'm talking about, yes, you're adding spirituality in. It's different. It's personal. It's intense. It's deep, just like Carla had said before.
Yeah.
This is not just about movement anymore. And so if you're going to go into that space, yeah, take the time. Because if I'm going to pay someone to talk about my spirituality and deepen that, yeah, I want someone who's giving it some thought. And you are.
Yeah, 16 years of thought. Yay!
Keep thinking, girl. Keep thinking. And don't be embarrassed. Like, this is what I think business is. This is why we joined the group, right? So that we could like slowly figure it out together.
Well, I think it's less of embarrassment as more as it's like, oh my gosh, have you grown at all?
and
because I joined your group a year ago and I sat in that sister circle. And it was like, some days I feel like, Stacey, you're in the same place you were a year ago.
You got your program almost ready to roll out. You've got your content. You're starting on book number 2. You've been growing your social media presence, and people are connecting with your message. You're not in the same place.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
So it's like some days I'm like, oh my gosh. But anyway, it's all good. I know that I've grown in the same things that you said as some of the things that I shared with myself. I'm like,
and
no,
maybe it's another Rise Sister Circle. And who cares if it's the same topic? Like, it's a year later with different people and you're in a different place with it. Like, call another circle.
Dude, my heart, this was a sister circle for me, man. My heart cannot take 8 people's right now. That's too much information. It will overwhelm me. This is good. This is small. So I would not put myself in a sister circle right now. That would frazzle me.
But we're here for you.
That's right. We're the 3 sister circle.
Yeah, we're already amazing.
I know, right? How cool is that?
Already?
I am going to watch that video tonight.
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it yet either. And she just sent it out. I asked her about it. She just sent it out. So I'm going to watch that video. There's a video to the book that Stephanie got the book.
Yeah,
Stephanie got the
I
book,
bought that book.
Sent me a message and I said, do you want the video if they send me a link to the video? So
like,
just kind of need to hear that. So well, enjoy Jocelyn's birthday.
Yeah,
happy birthday.
I gotta run and do this 13-year-old birthday party. So I'm gonna write in my calendar to get you the video tomorrow. I only got like 3 hours of sleep last night. So
oh yeah, don't worry about it.
I'll get it to you mañana.
Okay, sounds great.
Right,
enjoy.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Anytime.